Happy New Year, or depending when you're watching this, Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2019. I'm delighted. You should be too. And we are celebrating the advent of this lovely new year by looking at the top 10 Pokemon GXs that we have. I haven't actually updated this list in 9 months. That is frankly ridiculous, and I feel a little bit ashamed. But rather than sit here and wallow in shame in 2019, I thought we could just update the list a little bit. So let's have a go, shall we? Here's what it looked like 9 months ago. Yeah, some of that seems a little bit outdated. And since I last did the list, we've seen the releases of Forbidden Light, Celestial Storm, and Lost Thunder. So I think it's about time we started anew. Now, a couple Pokemon which are not being on this list. Gardevoir GX, it's good, but it's really dropped off in play. It's seen a little bit of success, but I don't think it's seen sustained enough success to make it into the top 10. Sylveon, same deal. It's annoying. I don't think it's good enough. Glaceon GX is seeing a little bit of love here and there. It is starting to finally see a little bit of success and play with Zoroark, and I think Glaceon could well make a comeback the next time we do this list, but it's not there yet. Baynet, again with Zoroark, was quite good. The GX attack lets you recover cards, but it's fallen right out of favour. Drampa is still hanging around with Garbodor, largely inexpanded. I've seen a few top cuts lately, but not enough to get it on the list. And Lucario, it's still a fighting Pokemon. It still hits Zoroark for weakness. It's still a good card, but again, occasional top cut, largely inexpanded, not enough to get it on the list. So without any further ado, coming in at number 10, a re-entry for Decidueye GX. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Decidueye is back, and largely this is due to Alolan Ninetales. You see, this one came out, and the ability says when you evolve it up, you get to search your deck for 2 item cards and put them into your hand, which means you can search for a bit of the old rare candy. But then remember that it evolves from Alolan Vulpix, and Alolan Vulpix lets you search for any 2 Pokemon and for 0 energy. And the combo's fairly obvious. Use Alolan Vulpix to search for Decidueye and Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales to get the rare candy and what other item you feel like. And then you're there. And you're good. And you're golden. And life is good. The ability's as good as it's always been, putting 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's just been a little bit too slow since we lost Forest of Giant Plants, although it's never really stopped top cutting. But it's happening more and more as we go along. People have even started playing Larvitar with this, so that you can do some cheeky damage. Does 80 for a double colourless energy, just so long as they've got 3 damage counters on. Shintaro Ito, our former world champion, did very well with this at a 1,000-person plus tournament, and it's not the only success it's seen. It deserves its spot in at number 10. In at number 9, we see a new entry for Sceptile GX. This has been sneaky on the radar as an upcoming deck since it was released. Now, it has a crippling weakness to Blacephalon, and that is a genuinely huge problem. But other than that, it's a really phenomenal card. It's got a lot of HP, a GX attack that completely heals itself and any Pokemon with grass energy attached. It does 130 for just 2 energy, meaning all these fancy non-GX decks like Granbull and White Kyurem just can't keep up. They can't one-hit KO, and you're just easily one-hit KOing for 2 energy. Plus the fact that you move an energy when you attack means it works beautifully with Max Potion. You've got Life Forest Prism Star, which gives you a load of extra healing. You've got the Sceptile from Celestial Storm, which makes you immune to Ultra Beasts, and incidentally means your crippling weakness to Blacephalon is irrelevant. And you've got Grovyle that helps you evolve up really nicely. I played against one of these in a League Cup lately, and the lovely chap I played against, both games got turn 2, double Grovyle and a Sceptile, because they had 1 rare candy in hand. It's nuts. This is a good card that I think is going to get better. In at number 9. In at number 8, another new entry for Ultra Necrozma. Now, Ultra Necrozma at the moment exists with Malamar. It hits huge damage when you discard all the psychic energy attached to it. It's a smashy deck. At the moment, it's seeing a little bit of success here and there, but when the next set comes out Tag Team, and we got all these Tag Team GXs, it is going to get so much better. Because it can easily one-hit KO Tag Team GXs for free prizes. Yeah, get used to it. It's number 8 now. It is only going to go up. In at number 7, a new entry, showing how long it's been since I did this list, for Rayquaza. Now, Rayquaza saw a lot of hype when it was initially released. It did very well at Worlds as a speed deck with things like Max Elixir. Since then, it's fallen off the radar a little bit, but has seen sustained, if muted, success with Vikavolt. But it's still hanging around. It's still cutting in Standard. It's still cutting in Expanded. The thing is, when the next set comes out, we are getting Tapu Koko Prism Star. And we are getting Shaman Prism Star, and it's about to be the best deck in the expanded format. I did do my video about double colorless energy and the potential ban, which we're definitely not getting. But in that video, I detail quite nicely why Rayquaza is going to be so good in the near future. It's seen sustained success ever since it came out, pretty much. It deserves its spot in at number 7, but it is going to get better. Now, in at number 6, and I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, 5 and 6 are on an island on their own. They are better than the previous 4, but honestly, you could flick these 2 around. In at number 6, we've got Buzzwole. Buzzwole has been good since the moment it dropped. It lost strong energy, which was a little bit sad, but it's still got Dancy Prism Star. It's still hitting weakness against Zoroark. It's since actually got access to Beast Ring, which is redonkulous energy acceleration. You've got the non-GX Buzzwole, which makes a great non-GX partner. It works beautifully with Lycanroc and has the same typing and hence energy. It's just a powerhouse deck. We've seen it with Lycanroc, we've seen it with Zoroark, we've seen it with Alolan Ninetales, we've seen it with a whole bunch of things. It's been good since the moment it was released. I see no reason it will stop being good anytime soon. Buzzwole is a phenomenal card. And in at number 5, which you could easily flip-flop with Buzzwole, we've got Blacephalon. Blacephalon was hyped coming out of Lost Thunder as possibly the best deck in the format. And it's basically proven to be the best deck in the format. It's just over the top good. It combines with Naganadel, and Naganadel accelerates energy from the discard, and Blacephalon does 50 damage for each energy you lost zone from any of your Pokemon. It's a very straightforward kind of Pokemon. You get a bunch of energy on the field using Naganadel and obviously Beast Ring, and then you smash whatever's in your way. This is also another card which is beautifully primed to go up against these Tag Team GXs when they're released. Get ready to see an awful lot more Blacephalon. Although, to be clear, it deserves its spot at number 5 right now. But the top 4 are all off and on their own. They are all cards that fit into multiple decks. In at number 4, it's Lycanroc, the Midnight form. The ability here just lets you drag a Pokemon off the bench. It's a gusting ability. Gusting has always been good. And this can fit with any deck whatsoever. Largely played with Zoroark and Buzzwole, but you could fit it into anything. Then you've got the GX attack that for 2 energy does 50 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So as long as you can get an energy on their early game, it's always a threat. Even Claw Slash, you need to be playing double colorless energy, but you will be in a Zoroark deck, and in any deck playing double colorless energy, Claw Slash becomes awesome as a Zoroark counter. It's just a phenomenal card. In at number 3, we've got a card that we've already mentioned a couple times. It's Alolan Ninetales. I love the GX attack that gets an instant one-hit KO on an Ultra Beast, bearing in mind we've already talked about Buzzwole and Blacephalon on this list. I quite like the attack that does 70 to the active, 30 to a bench for 2 energy, but really it's all about the ability here. You're searching out items, whether that's searching out both parts of a custom catcher, Fun fact, my dad bought me 3 packs of Lost Thunder as a Christmas present, and I pulled a secret rare custom catcher. Woo! Whether it's grabbing Beastring at the perfect time in Buzzwole decks, whether it's grabbing those rare candy in Stage 2 decks, it's just ridiculous. And I've already mentioned Alolan Vulpix, just in case you needed any extra reminding. In at number 2, it's Tapu Lele, and again, 1 and 2, you could flick around. They've been the 1 and 2, well, since Shining Legends came out. You know who's number 1 at this point. Tapu Lele GX lets you search out any supporter card you like. It gives you added consistency, finding stuff like Cynthia, while also letting you play one-off cards like Team Skull Grunt and search them out. You don't have to play it in every single deck, and there are decks that are playing stuff like Zeb Striker and Oranguru instead. But let's make no mistake about it, the vast majority of decks still run on a Tapu Lele engine. But number 1, Zoroark. Of course number 1 is Zoroark. Zoroark is the best card in the format, the best GX in the format. It's very difficult to say much more new about Zoroark at this point. And unlike last time where I gave number 1 to Zoroark, but I was slightly hesitant, I didn't even think that hard. I wouldn't be mad at you if you put Tapu Lele number 1. Tapu Lele is still clearly a phenomenal card. But let's make no mistake about it, Zoroark's the best card in the format. You discard a card from your hand and draw 2, that's pretty great. For a double colourless energy, you do 120 with a full bench, that's pretty great. Go into expanding that Sky Field so you can actually get up to 180 damage, that's pretty great. And it just fits in with basically anything you want. When I talked about double colourless energy being banned, which I still, just to be clear, didn't ever think was going to happen, a bunch of you said, well, hang on a second, the problem isn't double colourless energy, the problem is Zoroark. I don't think Zoroark's a problem. I don't think it's some unbeatable card, but I do believe fairly strongly that it is the very best GX we've got. But hey, maybe you disagree with me, maybe you agree. Regardless, there's a comment section. I'd love to hear from you. But you know, as always, be nice. Of course, that's important. But I would love to see your own list of top 10 GXs right now. Go nuts, ladies and gentlemen, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays for some more Wassy action. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time, and have a lovely new year. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.